tonight?
Well, it's like always. I was early. I was ready. I had technical problems. I was ready. Darren wasn't ready. Darren didn't have his esky full and ready for Saturday night drinks. So further delays, and here we are.
Didn't even realise it was Saturday night drinks. Completely forgot. Talk about slack.
It's the only night that's not a school night, so it's like my one night of do as you please.
Do as you please. Oh, yeah. It is. And you don't have to get up in the morning, Sunday?
I have to get up, but not for work. So I come out here. Last Sunday I spent a beautiful 5.5 hours in the hatchie room, which was sensational on a Sunday.
Nice.
So it has begun, and a couple of midweek sessions too. I thought I'd sneak in a couple of nights a week and did an hour and a 2-hour session through the week. So I'm on top of it early, but I feel like I'm just going to totally lose control soon. But for the moment, we're going well.
Yep. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it looks like you got that other rack squeezed in there beside you too.
I did, mate. We have every millimetre of space taken now. The freezer had to depart the building. So I actually managed to fit it in the adult room somehow. I still don't know how I managed that, but it's in there. So it's just a pain in the butt now. I've pretty much got to write a list up here and then go to the other room to go and get rodents, which is a bit of a pest, but whatever. It's like going shopping, write the shopping list. Let's go down to the other place and get some rodents.
Yeah, it's like me. So out to the garage, take out a big plastic tub. Yep. Yeah, give me 10 packets of that. 10 packets of that. 10 packets of that. It's like, God, 150 will do for today. Just some more tomorrow.
Yes, just do a little one. That's why I pulled out a quick 80 on Thursday night and thought I'll just bash 80 through while I'm doing nothing. So smacked 80 through the new ones, and that's just going to be how it rolls now for the next 6 months.
Yeah, it'll be every night. Got to start having a crack at mine. A few have made it to the hatchie racks now, their sheds and everything else. So that's
time.
Fun all starts again, as always. So,
At least this year you won't be suffering under as much pain as standard.
Oh, last year was a nightmare. It'll be a bit more pleasurable this year. Definitely a much smaller season, that's for sure. I mean, still decent enough, but you can have all the fun this year. Maybe I'll go back to next year.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm calling you for tips shortly in about 3 months' time. Daz, what have I done wrong? Help!
Yeah. So we got Todd Hodges, Muzz Williams, Jason Loftus, Mark Palos, Gaz, Garth, Jan, Charlie D, Brett Moy, evening everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. So a bit of a quieter night tonight, Saturday night, last night minute. So we're late because Brent says, Saturday night, where's your beers? I'm like, no, I was just about to have a coffee. And then he pulls out his cold drink. So I thought, well, I'll go make one. I grabbed out my movie cup and I made my Bailey's Kahlua. Then I thought that might not last. So just in case, I made two. Oh, you never know. So
you're a smart boy, Daz.
Oh, you've got it in the blender.
It's the only thing that has enough volume that I can bring up here and not have to worry about running out. So, well prepared tonight.
Well, I got next guy. You want a spoon? I'm like, yeah. So I got a dessert spoon that kind of disappears in the cup. But anyway, so before we kick off with what you've got tonight, Brent, I thought it's getting not far away. We're getting back into the obviously we're in breeding season now. We're in hatching season. Well, we're in hatchie season now. Things start to feed, and what comes next to the reptile shows. And finally, now that COVID's kind of buggered off, all the reptile shows are starting to pop back up. So I thought we would, the reptile shows have always been a good thing. We've always supported them. I mean, as I said, I've been going to the first one. We could sell reptiles out in 07, and the last one before that was at Darling Harbour in 04. 2004.
You probably went to reptile shows when there were still dinosaurs at the shows.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, I almost bought my first T-Rex at one. So they're back on again. Obviously 2023. So I thought, well, we should probably, the more people that go to these events, and whether it's just to have a look see or to actually vendor their reptiles at, whatever suits. I think the better. They've always been good. They're always busy. I've always done well at them. I know you're the same, Brent. So I
Awesome
thought
days out.
we just, yeah, that's it. Even if you're just there for a visit, just for the social side of things. So first show coming up, we've got the Sydney Reptile Expo, which is run by Adrian Hemans, the Blacktown Leisure Centre at Stanhope Gardens. So it's normally the first one of the year. So I've put these just in date order. So the earliest ones first. So books down, write them down. So we've got the Sydney Reptile Expo coming up in February, and then the VHS. If you get the opportunity to go down to VHS, it's been a number of years since I've been down there. I have been a couple of times in the past. And the good thing about this, the problem they had, that VHS and Hawkesbury started putting it on almost the same weekend for a long time
over the years,
and it's just ridiculous. Like Brent and I always say, like it'd be nice to have a 3-week kind of break between the two, but it's actually good to see that. I know Cole South from Hawkesbury, and I'm not sure who the president is down at the VHS now, but they've actually got together and separated the dates, so they put a bit of time between the two. So if you've got the opportunity to go down and support the VHS and have a look see, it's worth a trip. I wouldn't mind going down again myself, just to have another look see. So that's on March the 11th on Saturday, and then after that we have the Hawkesbury Herps one, which they've put on the 26th. So they've put it 2 weeks later. So it's a nice to get that little bit of a break between the shows.
That's a good month between, which is perfect.
Yep. So that's at the end of March, 23. So it's always Hawkesbury's always put on a good big show. Always worth a look see. So and then obviously they haven't announced it yet, but obviously Illawarra are planning a show. I'm not sure. We haven't got there's rumored dates, but until they make an official announcement, but they will be having a show. And then of course the last show that we've got confirmed from Elizabeth from Shaquito's Critters up in Brisbane, which is bloody awesome. It's the first time that they will actually be able to sell reptiles at a show. So if you can get up there and have a look see and a sticky beat, get along and support it, because Queensland don't have them. We've had the privilege of having them down here for since 07, so a long time, 15 years or something like that.
Yep.
Even though Queensland have had a couple of reptile expos in the past, they've never been able to legally, technically sell anything at the show. Not even to have business cards on the table. I happened to be up there one year when National Parks was walking around, and someone had some business cards on the table, and they said, "No, take them off. You can't have any advertising whatsoever. Not allowed to sell."
Pure hobby event,
yeah, sort of thing. So it's actually fantastic. Actually, I think he's got it put on next page there. So you can see reptile show, reptile sales. So if you can get along and have a look, I know we've spoken about trying to get up there for a weekend, Brent, subject to you and your work.
Lifetime,
yeah. But I think it's important, these shows. If you can get along, support it. Good place to see your animals, all that sort of stuff. Be there. I know we'll be at all the Sydney-based ones. And I would like to try to get down to the VHS and the Brisbane one as well, but it's subject to other plans having January. So
maybe one year, one the next year or something. But they're a great show. People who are getting into reptiles often say to me, they want to come and see animals and stuff, and most breeders don't have people at their house, so it's very hard to show people other than photos a lot of stuff. But these expos is the place you can go and look at. There's 30 or 40 vendors at these events that have a huge variety of stuff. So you will see things that, will trigger ideas, things you never really thought about. You'll wander around. I often wander around a show before we kick off and see things and go, that's interesting. It's there's always something there that sort of makes people take notice. So
yeah,
it's a good day out, and you get to see everybody. Everyone normally shows up, all the local yahoos. So it's a good event that you get to catch up with a lot of friends. There's people that I only see at expos every year. There's other people. That's the gathering. All the breeders get together and talk some rubbish and carry on like idiots. So it's a good day.
And like anything, you get younger people coming in for their first time, like people attending the show for the first time, and it's great. They come along, they sell a few animals, have a good time. Hopefully they'll come back. I mean, we've been doing them. I've been doing them for a long time. So has Brent. And we hate missing it. And I think there's only ever been a few that I've missed, but I've always gone anyway. Like you say, Brent, the social side of it. Yeah, just to get around and say hello and meet people, and you see some very cool stuff there. That's for sure. There's so many, amazing good breeders out there with a lot of cool critters. And it's nice to see them in the flesh. There's no, flashed up photos sort of thing. It's all like you can see it in the flesh, and there's no question as to how black and gold it is, or black and white it is, or how pretty it is. You can see it for your own eyes. So that's always a good thing to see.
Yep. Good family day out too. All the kids come along and have a ball, and there's entertainment, and it's a good day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you normally got Andrew Melrose or Neville Burns or whatever doing reptile shows, displays on the day with all the venomous stuff as well, and some have entertainment, kids' face paintings and all sorts of stuff. So if you haven't been, get along, have a look.
You going to paint your face again this year, mate? You going to be a dolphin, or
thought you were
going to be this year?
I better be careful how much I almost said something I probably is inappropriate.
We're on the PG time slot, mate. Be careful, it's early.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I remember I was a little dolphin. Yes, Nemo. That was a jobfish.
Oh, yes.
So you got Nathan, Ryan. G'day, how you going? Love the striped albinos you posted. Gave them a cheeky little share. Yes, thanks, mate. I'll got them here. I'll show those later. I'll put this fan on here because it's bloody hot in this room.
They
Mr. Boswell.
I see my one in there. Stood out straight away to me.
Yeah. It's got your name on it and everything,
Yeah, did you back texter? Straight down.
Carved it in with a razor blade, It's about 7 pieces now, but there's definitely print in it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Boswell Keegan, Gary Venomstaff, Mitch Ford. Venomstaff is the second Sydney show happening next year. They're all happening next year, mate. All February, March, April. And I think the other one's coming a little bit later. I'm not sure if I haven't spoken to Joe Payne, so I'm not sure what the forecasted ETA is.
After those ones, let's just say that.
Yeah, it'll be after those, so there'll be plenty of time.
Yep.
Get your cars, catch the train.
That's right. When it's released, we'll let everyone know. But it's not one they're going to miss out on in the short term. So it's always a great day at Wollongong too. I like that show. It's always been a good show for me. So it's always a good crowd. People come from way down south and way out west for that show for some reason. It tends to bring people would rather travel to Wollongong than travel to Sydney, it seems.
Yeah, I agree. It was a bit like doing the back in the day we used to have the one at the Newcastle Jockey Club. That was always a good show. That stopped, and then we had the one at Gosford there for a couple of years, but that stopped as well. And they were the same. Like Newcastle is kind of the other end of the northern side of the Illawarra version. Yeah. And the same people would come down from Port Stephens, and because that 1.5-2 hour trip south is better than the 4.5 hour trip south. Yeah. So
no word from Central Coast. I haven't heard anything. I don't know what's going on up there. I know they were renovating the grammar school that it was at for years, and the COVID thing and all that, but I certainly haven't heard anything about this year as yet. I hope they get going again. I don't want to see them fall off. It'd be a shame for the hobby if the Central Coast had nothing.
Definitely, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose the biggest problem you got is it's who's on the committee in the society. and who's willing to put in the work. It's a lot of hard work. It's not a small job, and we see them because the effort's put in by a handful of people to make it happen. Obviously, they got all their supporters, which without them, it's not going to happen either. So it's a handful of people to make it happen, and hundreds that get it off the ground. So
absolutely.
It's a fantastic effort by everyone. So I know we greatly appreciate all the time and effort they put into it. So
yep.
But anyway, so I just thought we'd share that and get that out of the way. So you've got, is it one or two clutches you got, Brent?
Just one, mate. Just one.
And it's a pretty exciting clutch. I didn't actually realise what the sire was for this one.
Yeah.
So if you're going to keep secrets, mate, we can play that game.
Funny enough, but Todd's asked the question, keen to see this clutch. Is this Bredli Darwin from Joe Ball's line? This is not from Joe Ball's line. Technically, this is from Darren Whittaker's line, who geniusly got the heads made. Obviously, Todd hasn't heard me tell this story 4,000 times. So Darren made
my headphones breaking up. I can't hear anything.
Daz made the heads. I got some heads from him. I made the visuals. They've been fantastic. And 5 years later, Daz made some visuals too. So
yes. It was a project that I put on the side shelf, not realising I had a feeling they'd be pretty decent, but when I made that pairing, I pretty much made that pairing just because somebody for 10 years couldn't. So I had a crack at it and managed to be successful. And I'm pretty sure it was around the same year as Joe Ball did his. But I was in the midst of all the pepper stuff working on. So because I was playing with all that, it kind of took a bit of a backtrack. And unfortunately for me, Brent went absolutely ham with his and had huge success.
One went very well.
Yep, and made me regret it from day dot. So,
funny enough, mine bred at 18 months, which is not very normal. Bredli blooded animals don't tend to want to tee off that early, but I managed to get some good size on them and get them going at 18 months, which was not what I do these days, but certainly what I was doing back then. So I was very happy to see the results. The 50% stuff was absolutely fantastic. So
Amanda Smith says they lost their whole clutch but one more time. That's a bummer. These things happen, unfortunately. Like we say, there's always next year.
Yep. Well, Daz has got a clutch to show us in a little bit of what happens with breeding sometimes.
Yep. Chris O'Donnell, g'day, mate. Chris Munn, Mr. Colvin, Todd Hodges, excited for Brizzy Show. Been waiting for years. Definitely. It is awesome news. Well done to Elizabeth for doing all that. Is that a Zeb? For
having a crack. Well, Daz, it's a super zebra to an albino Bredli, so is it a Zeb, Daz?
Oh, well, mate, it was zoomed out and blurry. I was just having to guess. Not sure. Is there any zebra? Are you going to get any zebras in the clutch?
Funny enough, do you want to bet on zebras against not zebras, Daz?
Yeah, I'll take the zebra side, thanks. You can have the other ones. How about that?
So we're going to have all zebras, and half the clutch will be albino zebras, and half the clutch will be just zebras. But the key part of this project, of what I was trying to achieve, was getting some of that Bredli blood into the magic albino stuff.
Get the high orange stuff into it.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see if it works. I think obviously this is 50% Bredli Darwin off to a super zebra head albino. So there's only 25% Bredli blood in these hatchies. I think it's going to take some time to try and enhance that colour, but we've got to start somewhere. So these ones will give me some visuals, and just I'm even excited to see just some of the wild type, zebras. That one's bright.
Yep.
That will carry that Bredli colour through, hopefully, and
try to get that high red orange of the Bredli into them.
Yeah, absolutely. So
going forward, what would be your plan with these things?
Probably pair up some of the albino zebs together, make Bredli super zebras, and I want to pair up some of the normal Bredli zebs together, and really want to make super zebras that are really strong orange colour, and obviously same thing in the supers. So do it from both sides, where we can get a bit of variety. But at the same time,
nice.
even just a good albino zebra with that crazy orange color, just develop the percentage of the Bredli into it.
Yep, that's it.
There's a few,
put it back to Bredli over time and try and increase it.
Yeah, it's a lot of years' work, but there's a few directions to run with.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I think you need a good, nice, dark Bredli. It was kind of my intention. A lot of people asked me at the time when I did the pairing, did you put it with a hypo? But I didn't want the lighter color. I actually wanted the darker color because you get a better contrast, and that's nice. Yep, nice little Zeb. And I think it shows a lot with some of Joe Ball stuff. Because he had quite a really nice dark Bredli, and I think that intensifies those colors in it, which is the same thought process I had, obviously. Which is why I never used a hypo. I wanted those darker colors in the albino.
Absolutely. Everyone asks that. They were like, "Oh, why didn't Darren do hypo to start it off?" And I'm like, "Well, why would you want to put caramel hypo to make the orange lighter, to make it back to yellow? The whole
that's exactly right.
Project was to turn the Bredli orange into a beautiful albino orangey red color. So
that's got a very heavy pattern on it for a Zeb, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite thick, but already I can see a difference in there. Got a little bit of that reddy tinge to them, unlike normal, pure jungle stuff or jungle Darwin Zeb. So there's some of that color starting to come through, which is what we're trying for here.
Yep. So if I was holding stuff back besides the albinos, I would be looking for the darkest zebras. That's what I would look for to pair back.
Hopefully,
to intensify the oranges. Yeah, exactly.
Dark and deep red.
Yep. Brad Griffiths says, "Hey fellas, glad to be on board. Welcome along, mate." Adrian van der Lustgraff, hey mate. Brendan Young, Todd Hodges, keen to see this clutch. Is the Bredli Darwin from Joe Balls? I know we did that one. Julian Hutchin, let's cut open some eggs. I'm excited for it.
He loves his snakes now, mate. He's come on board finally, old Jules.
Oh, there you go. It's good. Well, a nice little Waldy Zip.
And that one too, fairly thick in the pattern, but and a bit darker. That one too. There's certainly more of the brownie. When you look at the color on them, there's certainly a variation in.
Yeah. Yep. Bit darker, a bit lighter. It's not much, but it's the shades, and they're the things you look for if you're line breeding. What your goals are towards the end of the project. What you want to see. So
that's where you got to start from.
Yeah.
Everything starts with something.
Yep. That's it.
Bet we didn't have a bet.
Oh, I'll bet you get some Zebs.
Now we'll let this one fly. Looks like there's more wild types than albinos. So far. Another Zeb, really thick in the pattern too. But I guess that's you mixing in, 50% Darwin blood and a bit of Bredli blood. So the zebra, I guess, then, potentially washed out a little.
Yep. So what's in the what's in the Zeb? So these would be 25% Bredli, 25 Darwin.
The Zebs are
whatever's in the Zebs.
Yeah, the Super Zeb.
Off the head albino, so there might be more Darwin.
Yeah,
it might be 50%.
50%. Yeah, 50%. Darwin, 50% jungle. I made that Super Zebra long time. It's the really grey one. Everyone thinks it's an Xanthic, but it's not.
Ghost or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a girl who goes really grey during season for some reason. She often goes green when it's off season. That's a nice albino.
Yep.
Put your head up there, little fella.
Hey, you right, mate? I was having a bit of a snooze.
Just want to make sure his head's up there. They're all nice and ready. They pipped this morning.
That looks a bit lighter than the other albino you popped out before.
Definitely
look
does.
At that. Yeah, look at that. There you go.
Much more normal albino looking colour, that one.
Yep. Still turn out nice.
Yeah, there'll be variety. That's the thing. It's variation, as we talk about so often. There'll be a range. When you're opening up the gene pool, bringing in these, 3 species, you're going to get variation from all the different genes out there, and obviously variation just on each morph of the zebra and the albino. There's going to be good zebs, bad zebs. There'll be bright albinos, dull albinos. So.
God, look at the orange on the head of that.
Yes, that's nice and bright.
Yep. That's a nice looking head on that.
Pretty one.
Yes. Oh.
We're back to 4 and 4, maybe. We could have bet after all.
Yeah, could have. A couple of albino zebs for me. Beautiful.
Calm down. Calm down. How many drinks are you had already?
It's how much I drank out of the first one.
I might swap you one for that striped albino, though. That thing is off its head. That is
it is.
Straight up Zebby.
Nice. At least even the zebs are 100% head albino, so it's always a bonus.
Yep. That'll always be handy. A bit of Bredli blood in there, though. I'll probably move on a fair few of those so someone else can have a crack at making some super zebs and hopefully get some more of that red Bredli in there. Actually, I didn't forget I did this pairing, but I forgot that I used the Albino Bredli boy. So you say I hid it from you, but kind of hid it for myself. When I saw her name on the board, I went, oh yeah, super zebra girl. She's always nice. And I thought I would have used an albino. And then I saw I used the albino boy. I was quite happy with myself.
So you did use an albino. You just left the Bredli bit out of it.
Albino Bredli, yes.
Yeah.
That one's got a nice bit of colour.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's what we're looking for something that might stay right here at Holdback Central.
Yeah, that's the problem with clutches like these, isn't it?
You could easily keep 6, 8, 10 animals out of this. It can get out of control.
It's like you want to sell that? Oh no, I might keep it. Just goes. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
I like that. Look at that.
That's nice.
Yes. I like that.
Show yourself.
Show yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good looking one. I like the pattern on the back of the neck there.
Yeah, it's actually got a really fine zebra pattern too. That's a good looking one.
Yes.
Good win for the Wildy Zeb. Decent clutch too. I don't know how many it was in this, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 to cut. There was one I threw in the bin when I set them up that was absolutely putrid.
That one looks like a putrid one. It's going to have an albino super in it, that one.
Not quite.
Oh.
Just a brownie.
Brownie.
Come on, camera. Do your thing. Brownie
So much variation in the patterns, eh?
Yes, the patterns, especially colour, one thing, but yeah, lots of range in the zebs. This one looking nice and light. This was next to a rather putrid egg.
Right.
So it survived just fine. Well absorbed as well. That's right.
It's got more of a thicker pattern on it, isn't it?
Thicker, brighter. Very bright on the top of the dorsal there.
Yeah, it does look nice and bright.
There's the head way down there. I'm trying to antagonise it enough. Get that head up.
Yep, there we go. So fine, mate, fine.
Nice and bright.
Yep.
That's the winner.
Critters. Yep. What are your odds at? 5 and 5, are they, or 5 and 6?
I'm at the Wildies running now. I know 5 albinos and 8 Wildies now.
8 Wildies.
Jeez. Wildies have erupted, mate. You should have been on Team Wildtype.
Should have.
It's right up your team, Ali.
Oh, definitely. That's all I make here. Who wants mutations?
Wildtypes are still cool, mate.
I got lots of them. Another nice one. Lots of contrast in that one. A bit like the other one.
Yeah, very light background on that one.
Yeah, they're the ones I'd like to work with. Get that nice contrast. See, I think that dark with the light, when you slap that in albino, that's what's going to make a difference.
That'll work.
Yeah, yep.
It's definitely
try and get all. Yeah.
Nice tinge on the head. That's where I look for it. It's the back of the head's glowing a bit more red on that.
Yeah. I mean, long term, you want to see that nice orange kind of bread-like banding, and then as a white background as you can get.
Yep. Definitely. Hence we left out anything caramel in this, so it'll just be all albinos moving forward.
Yep. Yeah, but I think having caramel in it's not always the best option. Like I think just a straight albino Z with what you're trying to achieve, having the caramel in it's, like using the hypo breadlie in the first place, kind of killing what you want.
Yep.
You're going to get the orange snake with the super form anyway. So
yeah, yep. Holds the pattern way better. You put caramel in it, washes it out badly, and
yeah.
So I'm like, I've got Sun Glow supers and other lines I can do that with. I'm trying to just stick with the albino on this one.
Yep. Little one poking his head out of the albino there.
Yeah, he's coming to have a bit of a look. That's that light one. He's nice head pattern. Very, very zebby head pattern. Come the albinos.
Resurgence.
That's light too.
Yeah. Polygenics. The fun of it all.
It is. Like you said, everyone for many years, when all the new recessive stuff was out, people sort of turned their nose up at polygenic projects like they were the Povo pack of the hobby. But certainly now after, 6, 8, 10 years of development, we're starting to see those stripe things you've got and a few other little poly projects that certainly make for fantastic looking animals mixed in with some recessive or incomplete genes. Yeah,
definitely. It's a longer, slower road, I think. Even compared to, the recessive stuff. To try to get the results, like it takes a lot of years of work.
Yep, it's not a 2-minute fix. You still got to keep those genes, and obviously the hardest part is you get a trait you want and you want to increase percentage, or line breed it out. You can wait another 3-4 years to make heads, and then wait another 3 or 4 years to get visuals out of them again. So it's a long road.
Well, geez, we've got an esteemed guest in the house, mate, Mr. Kulagowski. How are you, Troy? How are you, brother? Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, hope you're feeling better and doing good, mate. So Troy asks, Brent, has anyone crossed any IJ blood with the albino Bredli yet? And I suppose you'd be the first to be able to do that, Brent, with the granite side of things.
Yeah, I certainly tried this year. I did a albino granite, my most favourite one, to my most favourite albino Bredli Darwin girl. And they mated, and she's taking food again as of 2 weeks ago. So I was very keen just to make, a clutch of albinos, albino stuff, because the IJ stuff I think will be another key one that certainly gets some crazy bright albinos. So mixing that in with the Bredli stuff could have been a nice start, but not to be for this year.
Yep, got to try some event. You got to have a crack, don't you?
Yep, I did do a granite jag to a Bredli as well, but I pulled the pin on that fairly early, way early enough. I don't think the Bredli gel was even close to ready, so that one things were a little bit out of control by mid-season that I got scared, and rightly so.
Yeah, Troy's like, hell yes.
It's just time, mate, just time.
Yeah, it's all time.
All inspired by some of the crazy creations of K Brothers in past times. Well, I'm sure we're all bloody K Brothers TV junkies over the years, watching some of the weird and wonderful things that popped out.
Yeah, they certainly had some crazy critters, that's for sure. More Wildy Zebs.
Pumping, mate. Wild type's gone ballistic now. I'm glad I wasn't on a bet against this, because albinos are suffering badly.
The worst part, I probably would have done you a favour and tried to guess you'd get more albino Zebs.
You could have went 3 down, mate. You're only 2 down, so
you
did yourself a favour. This egg's far from ready, so I'm going to cut this one a little. This one feels very full still.
Troy says, cheers, guys. No worries, man. If we manage to get up there to the Brisbane Reptile Expo, Troy, be nice to catch up, mate, if you're able to. Say hello.
Yep.
That looks nice.
Yeah, that one's really nice. Still very, very wet, bit of absorbing to do, but he just pulled his head quickly back down into the hole. But some beautiful, like you talk about that contrast. I don't know if you can see that on the side of that. He's kind of buried himself now, but you can see that bright white already.
Yep.
Which will be very nice. Looks like a nice tight pattern on that one, and hopefully it'll come through with some strong colour. So not bad, mate. Not bad. It's certainly what I was hoping for with the albinos. There's a few there that show a good potential. 8 albinos.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 wildies. So
be nice. Hold them back for a while and grow them up and get some colour in them. See what they look like.
Yep, absolutely.
The albino ones, I mean. You need to zoom your camera out a bit, buddy, so everyone can see if they're blown up. There we go.
And that's it for this experiment.
Oh, very nice. That's not too bad.
No, mate, more than happy with that. It was I was hoping to see a little bit of colour, and we'll get the colour. I guess once we get them out of that thick egg skin and shed and fed a couple of times, things will change very quickly.
Yeah. Look how nice. In case anybody hasn't noticed, Brent's not fuzzy tonight. That's because he finally got his new 4K camera.
Finally.
It looks much better. Yes.
Let's check out the difference, Daz. Let's show what technology can do.
So that's
from that.
Could be an improvement. Just depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah, the new laptop says it's got a fantastic high quality webcam, and yeah, it's not that high quality. Funny enough.
Not when you compare it to that.
Nah.
That's what. Like I said, the teammate was like, yeah, the quality, they say 4K, but they're normally crap. So you can see the difference in dedicated camera.
Yeah.
They massive difference.
Fix your camera, mate. We need to see your beautiful head too.
Yeah. No. Really? You sure?
Yeah, mate. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I was just going to play over here for a sec. So this is one, there's nothing exciting in here, but this is just a little piddly clutch.
What was this pairing, mate?
This was it was a double pepper albino. Of course, there's no everything's coming up. There's no albino peppers, unfortunately.
They've been a bloody pain for you, haven't they? They're one that.
Tell you that.
How many have you got? 2 or 3 or something?
3. So we got
for 400 eggs.
Let's get technology savvy here. Press all the right buttons, make things do what they're supposed to do. So, another example, it wasn't a big clutch. As you can see, there's a nice crappy egg in there. It's gone off. So,
you're hanging on to the dream with that one, mate. Just leave them undisturbed, as we say, though.
Yeah, that's it. You never know. I mean, I think it was Troy Gangster was saying he had one, he was going to bin it or something rather, because it all looked trashed and something hatched.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like golden rule of thumb, unless it looks like that.
at that point, you can probably say there's not much chance of a hatchie coming out. And if one does come out, it's probably not one you want. Yeah.
So just, it doesn't hurt to leave. If you're not sure, leave it. There's no dramas in leaving it sit there.
Yep.
Look at that.
Very Murray looking.
MD wild type, yeah. That one, this one's out. This one.
You didn't. You're still doing the double head to double head. You haven't tried any of the visuals yet.
Yeah, there they go. I've got one of the albino pepper girls up to size, and I tried to outcross her this season, but they didn't want to play the game.
Yep.
So I had an awesome pairing for her, and she just went no. So first season, first cooling, so.
Yeah. Always never perfect results.
Yep. Oh, yep. So look here, that one's dead. That one's
So she didn't lay many, or slugs?
So it's a crappy clutch. I was surprised these went thing. Like I said, mental health was being a bugger, so I wasn't in the best of mental spaces this season. So,
yep,
it's probably a good thing. So I have no idea what this one is.
Didn't go ballistic. Todd saying
that's a win.
Hey, yeah,
that's a pepper.
That's a pepper. Yeah, beautiful.
That's a pepper.
That's a big win from that many eggs.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at those eyes, mate. Look how black they are.
Yep. Well, like we were saying, Brent, I heard rumours of people saying that pepper eyes don't need to be solid black. Let me just say that I've probably got more peppers than anybody else combined anywhere.
You'd hope so.
They are all black. They are solid black, and it doesn't matter the combination. All right?
No, I did. Brent, tell the story, Dad.
So Brent and I had this conversation, and I said, mate, they got solid black eyes. I said the caramels have solid black eyes. The only ones that don't is obviously the albino. It has a solid red eye because obviously there's no melanin in there.
Yep.
And Brent was like, mate, I'm sure I had a couple of caramels and their eyes weren't that dark. They were a bit lighter. And I'm sitting there like, really?
Yeah.
I've got a few. I've got a few caramels, and Brent goes, "Yeah, I'll just get one. I'll show you." Pulls it out. Oh, yeah, that's solid black. So, hang on. I'll get this one.
I've got another one.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Solid black. Hang on, there's another one over here. Oh, solid black. I'm sitting in the chair, chuckling myself, going, "Told you." So
I swear they look lighter when they hatch. It was 10 months ago. I sort of thought, they're a little bit lighter caramelly colour. They're not actually black, but yeah, that dream didn't last long.
Yep. No, so they are completely solid black. And here's the other two hiding. There's a really nice albino MD one in there, plus that pepper, obviously.
Yes.
It's really, really nice. Really like that contrast.
Yeah, that beautiful red that you want. We talk about how cool the Bredli reds are, but put the MDs right up there, if not better, in some scenarios.
Yeah. So, I'm a bit of a hoarder. I've got a few of these albino MDs now.
Sure.
Yeah, probably way more than what I need and too many, but they are, to me, they are one of the nicest looking albinos out there, along with the Bredli. Yeah.
Definitely.
And once again, you look at that, you've got that real nice darks with the Murrays, the dark black and grey sort of thing, and it really comes through on the albinos. So, very strong influence. So, only a small clutch. So, three wildies, an alb, and a pepper. So,
pretty good result.
No complaints.
Getting a pepper.
Yeah, it's not an albino pepper, but anyway, I suppose I've got to drag up now. I have not looked at this clutch other than my wife said these have hatched. I'm like, oh, okay, let's have a look. And literally that one that was coming out there, I'm like, oh my god,
that stripe was mental.
Yep. Now, remember we did the last.
I was like, wow.
Yep. Now, if you remember the last show we did where I picked one of the clutches from the stripe, the albinos, I said I was looking for the pinstripe and obviously the red dots on the side.
Yep.
Faye's in the chat. I'll have the pepper, she says.
Carve a name into it, does. Carve a name in.
Mr. Boswell, I'm watching while I'm feeding hatchlings myself. Mate, when you're done, just pop up my way. I know it's a long trip, but,
Yeah.
Hey,
more work here if you want to, mate. Plenty more.
Yeah. So I haven't even cleaned the tub. I've done nothing. So
they're raw out of the factory.
Yep, still coming out.
Because the first clutch, that was just to a wild type Darwin, wasn't it?
So the first clutch of the stripe boy, it was to an albino Darwin. So obviously it's a polygenic project, right? It's not a genetic stripe. But yeah, obviously I was lucky to get a couple of stripes in that first clutch. I've then grown them up to size, put that stripe one back over the striped kids. First clutch hatched. There's a couple of nice ones in there, but this one hatched and that one came out and was like, oh my God.
That is insane. That would be the closest one to the original boy, I would think, just from, not that I saw that one as a hatchie, but
definitely.
As
and
an adult.
you can kind of see here, this one here, you see the dots on the side I was saying about. Remember when we were cutting them, I said looking for that stripe and those dots on the side?
Yep.
So since I haven't looked, so I just need to get this other container here. So I can kind of take them out.
Yeah, still is it?
Well, I think it came out. It's probably got its head buried in, so I'm just going to...
It's probably just gone back in for a look.
Yeah, so what I want to do, I didn't quite get my prior preparation up to speed. Just need to just a quick wipe out. It's a bit dusty. Just so I can move the ones that are out in here. And then we can have a better look. Just...
Aidan Dempsey saying, is this the jungle stripe albinos or mixed?
These are mixed. I'm not 100% positive what's in this stripe line, to be honest.
The original one was a bit of a unknown, but probably a 50% Darwin, 50% either coastal or jungle. But
yeah, I'd say I'm kind of with the striping on it, and from what I've seen, I'd probably be guessing it's probably more possibly jungle. But I mean, they're really big hatchies, so
yeah, wouldn't be surprising if it was coastal mix.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this messy tray out just so we can
set up. Stan's Bird saying he got his first Murray Darling last week. Congrats, mate. Very nice.
Nice.
Cool. 5 foot, have 2 diamonds, 2 jungles. It won't stop there, mate. Brace yourself for double up those numbers before the end of next year.
Brace yourself.
It's a bad disease.
Yep.
Aaron doesn't help it either.
No.
They keep catching things like this that I'm like, shit, I've got to finish work soon. I'm going to have to go past Daz's place and pick up a couple of these.
Alright, so just get rid of a couple of these empty eggs.
Typical.
Wasn't a great clutch. They're massive eggs, though.
Yeah, big solid things.
Like
that's normal. That you get
big eggs. Yeah.
Hey, that one looks good. You get that greeny colour when the albumin sort of spills all over them and they sit for a day or two. That's pretty normal.
Yep.
It's not mould. It's just they go that colour from the egg yolk.
Yep. So they're all empty ones.
Started with one, ended up with 121. Yeah, mate, you're a fast achiever. Some go flat out. Some take time, and everyone gets there eventually, though, it seems. Definitely not many people I know with one snake.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I say. Starts at one.
Yeah, well, I made the mistake. I started with 2, so I was gone from the very start, and it was a pair, male and a female. So
it was
bad intentions from the start.
Yeah, my first was a diamond python, and within a week I had 3 bearded dragons, and it was downhill from then. Downhill.
Yeah,
I think within 12 months I had over 40 reptiles.
I always knew you were a beardy mum at heart.
Was. See, keyword was.
Was.
Wow. I don't know. It's all blurry for me on the screen with these goggles on, but
that's another decent albino. It doesn't know if it's got that full. You see a bit of those dots, the side dotting. Can't see much of a stripe though. It's not really sitting right for it.
Egg's pretty dry, so I'm just going to snip a little bit more here. I mean, he's ready to come out. So
absorbed a lot.
Yeah. There we go.
That's nice.
You can see the stripe on the stripe on the back.
You can see it
there. Look at that.
Oh yes, there it is.
There we go.
That's another cracker. That's good. There's 2. One for me, one for you.
Oh, we're on a roll.
That's excellent work.
And so this one, I'm pretty sure he's been out, and he's obviously decided I'm just going to go and hide. So this was the one that was out. So he's like,
Oh,
I want to be shy.
My mother reckons I never had one of anything. Nah. Mother gave me some bad disease of need to collect everything.
Did your mum spoil you?
Nah, I had to work for it. Don't worry about that. Wow, that is a cracker stripe. Hey, there's quite a few in this clutch that are looking very much like what you were hoping for.
Yep. So he's obviously out. He's obviously just crawled in that egg to make a mess. So
that's a 2-day old egg that he's gone in for an extra sleep time.
What I'm going to do is just wipe the egg goop off. There we go. You don't need that.
Got the face as well. That's different. It says they're stunning.
That.
Aiden says, when can you tell they're ready to be cut? Like, when is it too late or too early? He's worried when the window is.
The window is when the first one pokes its head out. That's the window. So I had someone messaging me that the other day. They got the first clutch. It was due to hatch kind of now. Do I cut the eggs? And I'm like, no, just leave it. They're like, oh, but. So my message was, you have no eggs. There are no eggs. You didn't breed anything this season. Forget you have eggs. Just leave them. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, yep. I said, don't touch. Just, wait till the first one pokes its head out.
Then they're ready. There's too many variables. The temperature can change everything. Everyone cooks at different times. People's rooms are heated differently. Temp spike. Not everything's a perfect world. And when one's out, that means they're close. But that is, Daz, my God. That is insane.
Let me just try to get it so it's not quite.
We'll have to, after we finish drooling over these, you'll have to screen share a picture of the dad, because that thing is a mini dad. And I thought you would struggle to ever recreate that snake. It would take some time, but it has, because I remember when you showed me this thing back at the unit, I was like, oh my God. But it's taken 6 or 7 years, but here they are.
Well, he had to produce his first clutch. I then had to grow them up to size and then reproduce from them. And, we talk about that with polygenic pro, and this is really the start of it. So now that I've actually got this one,
yes, now you can really develop it with the using boys and girls as a female.
It's a girl.
Perfecto.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
That's why. That's when you can really hone in on that really defined gene pool and reproduce. You'll still get variation, but you're taking a much tighter group of that holdback girl to the dad, and suddenly you're going to get insane stripes, and some still very good stripes. You're taking out a lot of the less striped DNA.
Sorry, I was just playing around to see if I could get that to show better, but yeah.
I think it's better just on the black matting, or even in your hand. It's good, mate. You can see plenty of it. It's better back up in your hand.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's washed out down there.
It's washed out, yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. That is good. So, 3 of those really insane stripes in there?
I got that one. I haven't really had a look at the other ones, so just ripped them out then.
Amanda's saying they are huge. They're nice, thick, solid hatchies, yes. Well absorbed in the egg. Well, Roberts wants to know which one's his. You and everybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
Bowen.
Everyone else.
How are you, Mr. Bowen? It's a mate of mine. Do they bite? They certainly will learn soon enough. At this stage, not, but that will all change. Soon they'll shed and then decide they want food, and that's when they'll learn how to bite.
Yep. At the moment, they're just caught chilling. Sorry, just going to try that. So I'm getting back into the right tub. You can have a better look. Oh, kids, here to come.
Stuart Gamble in late. How are you, Stuart?
Hey, mate.
Yes, we arrived just in time to see Daz's magic albino stripes, though.
Yeah, They're a little bit dirty in the clutch here, but
Phil Cole
they've just come out.
G'day, Phil. Phil says congrats, mate.
Thanks, Phil. All right, so it looks like you obviously got this guy. So I'll just put him aside so we know that he's not in there. So that's a nice one. So this one here, I mean, they're a bit dry now because they've come out. But this one here is actually showing a bit of striping as well. I think it just doesn't want to stay in hand. Stay. Come on, buddy. Just settle down. Nope. There we go. There we go.
You've opened up the box of worms now.
Yeah. So this one here is also showing a bit of stripe. You can see down the back ridge here. It's got the dots.
Yep.
This one.
Not as those long horizontal dots on those other ones, but it's definitely got it in a different.
Yeah, the angle right. You can see the dark stripe along the back there.
Yes, definite.
So, that's two stripy ones. Maybe I'm not sure if it's better to have that out of the way. Is that better or worse?
Probably better on the black. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, they're just dry, then they come out and it's dried out. So,
yep. Get them onto some damn paper towel.
They'll
hydrate up.
Very clean. So, there's a couple of stripy ones in here. There's another one. I think. They're quite ready to go. Probably like, where's my drink, mate?
Yep, they're alive and well.
Yeah. They are firing on all 4 cylinders. 8 cylinders.
Struggling to contain that beast.
Yeah, so the dry, but you can see down the back edge here, you can see this faintness of the stripe. We get the angle right.
We'll definitely have to have a bit of a look at these once they shed. Keep them in the tub long enough till they all shed. It'd be awesome to see these in fresh skin.
So, then we got stuff that has a little bit more normal pattern on it, which is kind of the polygenic side of it. You see how it's got bands, still got a bit of stripe on it, but just blotchy. So it's not really, you see that?
Normal banding. Yeah.
Which is, you can see why people easily can mistake, an incomplete dominant mutation for polygenics.
Yep.
So it's easily done. Here's another kind of normal looking one. Same thing. So you see the banding on it?
Yes.
Right, a little of the striping.
Or a bit typical sort of banding up and over the back.
Yep.
They'll shed in a few days, I think, mate. They're getting
mate.
loosening up.
I'll get in they go back into a nice waste paper towel tub with a nice big water bowl and
soak away.
Soak away. So we got another. What's this one look like? Yeah, it's got a little bit more of the same sort of kind of mixed pattern on this one. Yeah.
Amanda said, did they hatch late?
They hatched right on time. They hatched exactly when they're due to hatch. What was the lay date? They only hatched when they start hatching, not yesterday morning, I think it was. So the lay date was 3rd of the 10th. So 3rd of the 12th. So 60 days, so the 12th. So what's the date today? 10th. So yeah, a little bit of a slower one. So we got another one.
No rush.
Nope. So I mean, they go in, I put an ETA date on them, and I just wait till I see the first head come out. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Bit of striping.
That stripe's so tight too, isn't it? It's beautiful dorsal line.
This one's kind of slightly, you can see down the back, you slightly got some patterns on the side.
Flare, joining up, but
yep. But it's like this is very similar to like the first one's actually up. So you got to take that and then put it back to the stripe to obviously try to get the stripy ones.
Yep. How old was the original male you got? Did you have that from when it was young, or?
Yep, from a hatchie.
Hatchie, yeah.
Yep.
So you saw what it was like. So this is
Yep.
the repeat saga.
Yep. So this guy's also got a stripe. If you sit still.
Do you do any more of these this season, or just the 2 clutches of these?
Just the 2 clutches. So same thing, oscillates on the side.
Yep.
Stripe.
Nice. Yep, beautiful. Good to see the striping holding up good.
There. Like I'm just trying to get it, so trying to find the angles to highlight the stripe.
Yep.
Not sure whether my arm's better. I've got to get this lighting sorted out. My big light's not working at the moment, so I've got to get it sorted. But
I can see them now, right? That's good. That's showing it, mate. That's a very good result.
Yeah. So certainly no complaints there. I think this guy in the egg's going to be a cracker too.
Yeah, that's the one we sort of got a sneaky view. Excellent. Very reduced on the sides too.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, like I said, with that first clutch, I'm looking for that stripe and the oscillate or the circular patterns on the side, the dots on the side.
Yep.
So, it'll be then taking these guys and refining that trait in the next generation. So, it's a slow process, but it's a worthwhile process. So we pull them out, we'll pop them all in.
And a never-ending amount of work either. It's something that you can just keep refining over and over and over to try and narrow right in on what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It becomes the fun part of breeding, I guess. It's kind of you plan it all, obviously, and then when you start to see the results from years ahead, like I said, project starts with you thinking 10, 15 years in the future, what it is that you want to achieve, and then stepping back and thinking, what steps do I need to take to achieve that? How do I get there? And with good planning,
a lot of time, a lot of feeding, a lot of picking up.
Yeah, with a bit of planning, we say it all the time. You can live breed for any trait, whatever you like, going forward, and you can produce everything. I mean, these are just albinos, but people probably heard me tell the story before. It was when I went over to the States with Birching a number of years ago, and looking at the ball pythons and looking at high white and high yellow and high contrast and all this sort of stuff. It kind of really sunk in that we've got albinos, but no one's really line breeding them in any particular fashion.
No, definitely not.
Like even when you look at your zebs, you just at the start of that process, you're just getting the Bredli blood into the albino zebras, and then the polygenic side of your end goal high percentage Bredli albino zebs, is decade away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, or more.
Yep.
But it's to get your end goal is to make a high orange zebra.
Yep.
You have to start at A and work your way through.
Yep. A lot of time. Same with the albino granite to a albino Bredli. I want to make those albino granite really fine pattern things with that orange color in it, and that's 6-9 years away. It's a huge project.
Yep, that's it. But you can do it with anything.
But you got to start.
Yeah, that's it. I am pretty happy with the stripes in that clutch.
You bloody should be. That is a fantastic clutch. That first one had a bit of a mixed bag clutch, but this one certainly has brought the magic. So
yeah, this girl had the better stripes. So there was 2 girls that showed striping, and this one was the more influenced for the dad. So
yes,
the F2 girl. So
certainly shows.
Yeah. So you know what that means here, don't you?
Means my one's trying to escape. He's trying to come through the screen to me.
Hey, it's like, Daddy,
come home. I've got a tub for him right here.
come back to me. Yeah. So get rid of that. Put the two ugly fat guys back on. There we go.
Hey.
Back to me. Yeah, it's good. Polygenic stuff's fun. You know, you can wide brain for wild type stuff. I mean, when you look back 20 years ago, everything was wild type, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, there was nothing else. So people were just trying to make the nicest Darwins, the nicest coastals, you know, the nicest Bredli. You know,
a lot of like quality breeding and breeding for different qualities that they were hoping to enhance. And yes, it all starts again. You know, it's funny the cycles it goes in. Everyone was just mad to make morphs for a while, but slowly now those morphs have been around long enough that they're sort of branching, you know, out into different areas, mixing in those polygenics into the recessive traits.
Yeah, and that's what I thought after coming back from the States. I thought, you know, really want to work on just something really nice albino, find something. And that was it. When I come across that, I was like, yep, this is it.
That's it.
So pinstripe albinos, that's where I'm going. So and it's something nice to see get there.
So different from the start, that thing. You know, like that first one's just a freak. You know, what that came out of, who knows? But it was something that was way outside the normal range of what you would get out of a pairing of albino Darwins or whatever it was crossed to, jungle or coastal.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
it was very, the origins was certainly not known. And, you know, I'm happy to say that. You know, I don't see the point of bullshitting and making up stories for stuff. It is what it is, you know.
Yeah. And the fact it's a visual, you know, it's obviously been paired to something to make a head and bred to make the visual again. So it's, you know, someone's done some work to it before you jumped into it.
Yep. And you can see, obviously, this is obviously when it was a lot younger. But you can see, you know, what you're seeing in those hatchies. You're getting that nice high white, the yellow, the pinstripe, you know, and the dots on the side.
Yep. It's got it all.
Yep.
And there's a couple in this year's with those longer dashes on the side too, which will be nice to enhance as well, to make a great side pattern if they turn into some horizontal, you know, mini striping, little patches of lines.
Yeah, yep. So it's a slow project, but it's one of those little dinker projects we all have, slowly but surely.
Of course.
There's I'll just stop there for a sec. I know there's another photo here somewhere of it. But that was probably 12 to 18 months, well, probably not even 18 months old, probably in the vicinity of between 12 and 18 months old there, I think.
Certainly didn't get any worse as it got older, though. Still a fantastic looking adult.
Yeah, obviously now it's, you know, it's getting on. You know, the lines are blurring and fading and everything, which is typical as the snakes get older. You know, they don't always look good for their entire lives. You know,
melanin keeps creating forever.
Yeah, you know, 2.5 years is generally where they most sort of peak at, give or take. But yeah, I mean, he's still a good-looking animal. You know, he's a big boy too. Just trying to see if I can find the other photo. But so, what other? While I'm looking at this, Brent, what other clutches have you got coming up?
No idea.
That's good. I thought I'd just throw a curveball at you.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yep.
There's I'll have a look on the sheet. There's another clutch of those exanthic BHPs, which is the next one that's actually due. They always go a little bit further, and I've been very patient with them and just let them do their thing this time around. I'm not cutting the eggs, just leaving them poke their heads out, sit there for a day, and drag themselves out when they're ready, because I've had those things launch out of the egg in the past few years and not do very well at all. So I've been very patient with them and just left them alone. So what is next?
So while you're looking at that, so this is I'm pretty sure this is the mum. I'd have to double check, but That's the mum. So obviously she's a bigger size there, but after eating a nice big juicy rat,
definitely showing that striping. That striping's getting there. That to me looks more coastal. Those orangey patches in between certainly looks a little bit more coastally blood looking colour.
Mate, yeah, look, I'm open to any suggestion or reasoning, to be honest, but what gets me is the striping. Like the stripe is the dark bit. Most of the other stuff have a lighter stripe, not a darker stripe. So, but who knows?
The stripe and the colour, like you'd say jungle. Like it's so bright albino. It's jungle albinos have that fluoro look to them. It's especially around the head. Around the head and the mouth of those things it's definitely not dull and coastally looking.
Yeah, no. So that was one of the first ones that he produced. So it was nice to get that. It was the other one is here too. I think that might have been the other one. That was the other one. So that were the two mums.
Yeah, you can see the difference. Still a bit of stripe in that one, but
yeah, had a bit of striping. So it was
like other ones a bit
had to try to produce it. Yeah, yep. I don't know if here's other photos here. Oh, there's the other photo of him. There you go. Shows it a bit more. So that's what I'll turn out like.
So clean, that white section just not blurred at all.
Yep. Quite, yeah. I mean, I sort of just went, I'm going to have this, and it actually turned out a lot better than what I thought. And I was sitting miss with him for a while. He went off his food there for a while, wouldn't he? Now he's just a pig.
Now he's just a machine.
Yeah, just a machine. So,
where'd you buy that thing from?
Yeah, from a bloke.
From just a breeder?
Yeah, from this person that had one.
Yep. Oh, what a surprise. I got some children's, a couple of little Antaresia clutches coming up. Some of those Steve Carruthers stuff that makes those weird things. They're all posset things, so they could be anything. The head granite marble, not head granite spotted stuff, which is out now. And shortly coming up, the Moonglow clutch, mate. We might see some white snakes.
Yeah. That's nice because I wouldn't know what they look like.
There might be some in here for you, actually, because this will be snow back to the caramel double head mum, so there should be better numbers in this. I think last year we had 4 white ones. I think 3 or 4, 3 maybe. So a couple of snows and a moon, I think. Another caramel freaky zebra jaguar head xanthic. I think I might have done either a snow or a ghost jag to that. Marble. There's a Bredli Darwin head albino, that really dark girl that's almost black head girl, to the best orange albino boy. That one should be some really nice albino Bredlis. All going well. And then some of the Murray stuff coming later and Bredli stuff coming later. So still plenty to go, mate. I'm not even halfway yet. It's going to be a long year.
It's going to be chaos for you.
Yes.
It is. So where do we get to with questions, mate? We'll probably need to run through some of these.
No, you can take over. I think Wal Roberts, his stripe program came to a halt. His female passing. Sorry to hear it, mate. It happens. Back to square one. Yeah, mate. That's why a man does use the excuse for hoarding when you like to keep 2 or 3 of the same animal, because those things can happen with live animals. There's no guarantees. It's holding one back or having one of anything is always a risk. So I don't like having one and only of anything. It's those xanthic blackheads I've got. I have just the one male, and I've always been nervous about it. He's done well for years and years and years, and I'm hoping in this lot, the last year's ones, the really fine pinstripes, there was all girls. So I really need a nice boy to hold back, just as a backup and the next generation to push on with.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I'm not sure. Stands, birds, and reptiles. Snakes are too addictive. I've only had 3 years. I'm planning on getting another 3 soon. Already have over 100 birds. Yep. That's how it rolls. Snakes, it's a bit easier to have 100 snakes, 100 birds, though.
Sounds noisy, mate. 100 birds compared to 100 snakes, mate. They don't make much noise.
Like 100 parrots, 100 lorikeets. And can you imagine the noise? Oh.
Messy.
Yeah, squirters. Where else? Clutch. Execute. Did they bite? Yeah. It's Daz. Needles for both of you. Thanks, Donna. She's going to feed. Amazing. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to where you were, Brent. I don't know. We'll scroll through for questions. Hayden Dempsey-Down almost also a ball python pattern. Mate, you go over the States and go to one of those big shows over there and look at the ball python patterns.
Insane.
You know, I know people go, this ball pythons over there, like there's millions of them, but I tell you, God, the colours and patterns on those things are just mind-blowing.
Yep.
Just
4,000 combos. It's ridiculous.
It's insane. You know, I'm walking around drooling over them and bloody Brian Barchick's going, just ball pythons. These ones are really cool. I'm like, yeah, but we don't have this stuff.
Yes.
You know, it's like when you come over and find a bloody diamond python in the wild. You know, it's like, yeah, I've caught, rescued, and let tons of them go in the past.
Yep.
You know, it's the same thing.
They're going nuts about it, and I'm like, man, they're in our backyard. You know, it's kind of normal.
It's a wild carpet python. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, we get excited over what we don't have.
You
know, to get out and play with these, I don't know, get a 7 or 18 foot albino retic, it's like, how good's this?
It's massive.
Yeah. Fed Satan. He's
that crazy giant retic thing.
Burmese? No, it wasn't a retic. It was Burmese.
Burmese? I thought it was a retic.
Big Burm.
But yeah, that thing's just angry.
No. Man, he's like, he gave me this like 3 kilo rabbit, and he goes, stand here and hold it like that.
Oh, good luck.
When you got a head as big as this, like that, and you can see teeth about, I swear to God, they're like this long, just coming like that at you, and you're standing like 5 foot back from the drawer that it's in.
Yep.
I tell you, it's like I'm glad it got the rabbit. It hit so hard, right? I was holding by a rabbit, so it hit so hard that it just ripped the leg straight off. Just ripped the rabbit straight off. I didn't even have a chance to let it go. It just hit up, and I'm still holding the leg on. Like, Someone it was actually on me feeding. It was actually on. Not that you see me, but you see me feeding. It was actually on one of his videos. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's like, think feeding a 16-foot scrubby's fun. Yeah, go over there and feed something that's like
something that weighs
fat.
5 times as much. Yeah.
Takes 5 people to pick it up to try to put it in the drawer and hope it doesn't eat anybody on the way.
Yeah. I used to love those videos when 3 blokes are scampering around the room trying to get away from that thing while it's snapping its jaws everywhere.
Oh, mate. Like, until you see one of those things up close and personal at its angry finest, it's like...
Yes. It's
scary. No way. So, anyway, it's awesome. Fun times. There's Walt Roberts, my stripe favorite came to them. Yeah, it's a bummer, mate. Yeah, like Brent said, holdbacks are always a way of safe-proofing yourself. Become a hoarder. That's the answer to that.
Get more racks.
Yeah. Amanda Smith, this stage is my favorite. I was looking forward to doing it all over again. But as you guys say, these things happen. It's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Yeah, 100%, and it happens to all of us. No one ever has perfect season, perfect clutches and everything, Talk to anybody and they've always lost a couple of eggs or, clutch, get slugs. It's just how it is. There's only so much we can do. Feeding them, keeping them, cooling them, doing all that, cycling them, all that sort of stuff. But that's it. Once they start mating, it's nature's course. Unfortunately, there's no artificial insemination going on. So, and even then, there's still no guarantees.
No, they're still animals, and even once you get eggs and get a hatchie, doesn't mean it's going to do well, feed and grow up, and then actually be a good breeder itself. It's getting them feeding's one thing. Waiting 3 years to find out they're just a useless breeder that doesn't do anything is another painstaking mistake that certainly happens.
Yeah, definitely. So, but like we always say, there's always next year, and you can have the worst season ever, and the following season, it's like everything goes perfect, and
everything catches up.
Yep, like I had the big season last year, had a crack at a few things, and had a good season. Didn't always get the best results that I wanted, but in terms of clutches and hatchies and everything, it was good. And same with you this season, Brent.
Yep.
I'll pair a couple extra up just in case some don't go, and
can afford an extra 2 or 3 clutches. Yeah, good idea, dickhead.
Extra 2 or 3 turns into an extra 10 or 12 or 15.
Yep.
Yeah. Katie Gordon, I'm not late, am I?
No, Katie, we're just about to start now. Get your eggs out, Daz. How many eggs you got up your sleeve there, Daz?
Yep, nothing up my sleeve. Hey, presto. Yeah, no, you missed all the exciting stuff, Katie. Brent and his albino zebs and me and my stripies.
So those are good results tonight, mate. We both bought some good stuff to the show.
Yeah. I had a couple of the maternal clutches hatch out as well.
Yep.
During the week, it's a bit hard to actually egg cut. Oh, I've got a really nice putrid one here. Look at this. You have to excuse enclosure because I don't...
untouched and maternal. Just let them be.
So, is this the one? Is it this one? Have we got the right one? Nope, that's good. It's the wrong one. It must be the other one. Oh, it must be the one. There's one here. That had clutched up. So here we go. Now we talk about, I was talking to Brent and always talking about, when you put something in the incubator and eggs go off and you think, is it something I've done? Is it, you question yourself all the time. Now here's one that I don't want to share screen. I just want to click on. Sorry. Not steering very well. See, here's one. Look at that.
Bingo.
Out.
Mini-me.
Right, and then when we just so I don't put my fat fingers in the way.
Look,
it's on fire. It's like, look out.
It's a killer.
Yep, and you have a look at how putrid that clutch is.
Wow, what a bunch.
Right, there you go, Mum. Right, let's come out of there. Right, there's one here, which I might just cut that egg, actually. As soon as that one's coming out.
So a couple of good ones around the outside and a bunch of mess.
Yeah.
Mine to kill a snake.
Yep, this one's has actually pipped the egg here on the side.
Give it a little helping hand.
Yep.
Very light. Is it all right? Or?
Yeah. I don't know if you can if we put it up a bit closer here, if I can get it to focus on.
What is it? Marble.
Yeah. There we go. So.
Yeah. Happy little head there.
There we go. It's moving. So I might just very small. There we go.
Give it a bit of space.
Yep. Just dry as. There we go. He's going to put his head out. There we go.
Happy, healthy.
So
a couple of good ones from a bunch of rubble.
Yep. So you look at that, and God, what a putrid mess. It just goes to show, don't you eat me, that doesn't matter what you do, how you cook them, whatever, if they're going to go off, they're going to go off.
They're going to go bad. There's nothing you can do.
For whatever reason. And out of that, still get a, these are Marble T Plus jobby.
Yep.
So, yeah. So the other ones that have actually out have been perfectly fine. So there's another clutch. This one here. And this one here. So same thing. Exactly the same. See, I haven't even taken the slugs that laid out of this. Right, because I don't like to disturb them, but you can see the white eggs sitting under this one. There we go.
Get close.
Yep. So perfect little clutch. There you go. I don't like to disturb them. I don't want them to unwrap their eggs. So
No, let them be.
Yeah, I think if you stress them out, they'll just come off. So it just goes to show, doesn't matter what you do. If the eggs are going to go, eggs are going to go. What are you doing, Mr. Smith?
Man, I was just checking my freezer, just making sure it was still on.
Oh, it's still working. Yeah. It's still cold.
Yeah. Checking there was still ice in there, so there he is. So it's all right.
Is there? Yeah, only problem with ice. You need something to melt it.
I've got some of that, funny enough.
Have you? Ice is melted in my second drink.
Yes, Amanda was saying, am I drinking coffee? I am drinking coffee, actually. It's
same. I just need to stir my iced coffee.
It's Kahlua coffee. That's coffee, isn't it? Funny enough, I actually can't stand coffee. I hate the smell of it. I hate everything to do about coffee, but for some reason I can drink Baileys and Kahlua without too much of an issue. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Happy Saturday night, everyone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll have to have a couple more before Christmas. We'll have to have a Christmas drink show and
I think so.
Cut one closer to Christmas.
Yeah, I think so. To do that, we probably need to maybe in the new year do another barbecue, another pub catch up. I reckon.
Yeah, I think so, mate. A few people have been asking, so we'll definitely get something underway. It's a crazy busy time of year, but it is also good to take a Saturday night off and go out and catch up with some normal humans and get out of these bloody hatchie rooms for a few hours. So
yeah, that's
a good mental health time.
Yep. Probably missing a few. Saying Scouse in there. G'day, Shane. This is beautiful. Shane, the Xanthic bopping, are they the same as the Sandfire Beach black and white seals breeding 25 years ago? Yeah, Shane, it's a really nice Sandfire WA locale. They were just nice black and white.
Strong colour.
BHP weren't Xanthics, but yeah. They're different ones, Shane. Different line to those ones. But yeah. Everyone went nuts for those Sandfire ones back in the day, so the closest thing to Xanthics, really.
Yeah.
Yep. Brent, you drinking coffee? Katie Gordon says, what temperature it does? Well, that's interesting. Brent and I had this conversation just the other day, and I actually took out my digital temp gun without disturbing them too much. So basically just temp gunning at the top, and out of the 4 maternal clutches that are left, 2 were sitting almost exactly on, I think one was 31.5, 31.6 degrees, 2 of them, and 1 was at 33.
Yeah.
So, slightly warmer and still okay. You can see, I could see a difference in the eggs. I could actually see that the eggs were a little bit drier, I suppose, as compared to the other ones. But it was interesting to see that 2 of those clutches were almost, we always talk about 31, 31.5 degrees being the ideal temp to incubate at. To see 2 clutches that were similar. And obviously that wasn't in around the tightness of the cores. They just kind of give them a little bit of a, gentle nudge with, a little tool to knock their heads out of the way sort of thing gently. And just temped on the top of the eggs. But yeah, they were both exactly, gun was flicking between 31.5, 31.6 degrees Celsius. So, it's pretty amazing.
The one that was at 33, was loosely coiled on them. It was like she was almost trying to vent a little bit of temp out. They're obviously very, very aware of where it's at. Yeah. So you saw that one was quite tight on the coil, on the tight coil in the clutch, and that was one that was at the 31.5, and the other one was the Port Hedland WA Stimmies with that monster clutch. I'm a bit worried about that one when it starts to hatch. I'm like keeping an eye on it, looking at the dates, thinking, I'm probably going to have to pull those 2 clutches soon because they're just going to come flying out of those V35 tubs. Going to erupt.
I know tomorrow. So I reckon there's got to be 20 plus eggs in that stimmy.
Wow. Impressive. For
So
Antaresia, you rarely see clutches that start with a 2.
Look, I'm sure there's bigger, but my biggest children's clutch was 21.
Yeah, that's huge for a child.
Yeah,
Children's spot, and that's insane.
big. Yeah, I've had 18, 19 in stimmies. Blonde Max, I've had kind of 18, I think, might be the biggest.
Yep.
But yeah, 21 in the children's. It was like, holy crap, it's massive clutch. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's probably others. It's always good to hear what other people have got, but yeah, massive clutch. The Survivor, the Outlook's ready to strike. Yeah, it's going to kill me.
Staunch.
Yeah, man, it says might not be because the kids kept looking at them. Good idea. Once you got eggs, chuck them in the incubator. Just leave them alone. If you're opening the door and lifting the lid gently and leaving them that way, it's probably not too bad. But if you're taking those eggs out, putting them on the bench, lifting the lid up, having a look, A, you're interfering with stable temperature, and B, as Brent just said, you're moving the eggs. It's constant shock, moving and vibration. I don't know whether it would be detrimental to the eggs, really, but why take the gamble? I mean, in the wild, they're not going to move, really. Once mum's laid them and called up on them, they're pretty much going to stay still. It's not like a bird egg where you need to roll them. So, yeah, just leave them alone. If you want to go in there and gently take the lid off to air them out, once a week or every few days, whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. Change up bourbon.
It's not a school night.
Yes, that's right. Not a school night. Drinks all around. Man, I was going to say that's so late for coffee. I mean, my wife will have a coffee at midnight, go to bed, her head hits the pillow, and she's snoring.
Go on.
I'm not snoring, but out like a light. I'm like, what I would kill. I cannot go to sleep. I went to bed.
Sleepability.
I was tired as the other night. I went to bed at 2:00 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and at 3:30 I was still up. Could not go to sleep. No matter, my brain is just there's a
terrible sleep.
I'm not going to say it's just in the head at the moment. No, it just doesn't stop. I can't switch off, and it just wrecks me. And
that's the bad cycle. Then the head goes, you don't sleep, and then you don't sleep again, and it's round the merry-go-round.
And then I think I actually I got to bed at 4:30 this morning. Finally got to sleep 4:30 this morning. I was up at 10. And it's just like gives me the shits. It's like you get to 11 o'clock and think, right, I'm going to go to bed.
Nope. Not a chance.
Lying there staring at the ceiling, I'm tired. I'm yawning like non-stop. I'm tired.
But your body's just ready for morning tea.
Yeah. Anyway, joys of head injuries. Where are we? Wait for coffee. Instead of Rumbles, use Baileys or Kahlua. Yeah, this is Baileys and Kahlua. Rumble. What's a Rumbles?
Those little Christmas treat.
Oh, yeah.
Coconut things.
Yep. My mind's in a different world.
Not always a good place either. When there's the word balls in that sentence, I was instantly scared.
And it gets more dangerous the more Baileys and Kahlua drink. Where are we? Sorry. Daz, did you offer any feeds to the mums? No, I didn't, mate. I just let them do their thing. A few of them, when I was actually doing some feeding on some of the dads and obviously some of the other mums that I've taken clutches off, they were looking for a feed. Like I'd open a drawer and they'd still remain coiled, but is probably a third body length off, and they're coming out and the tongue's going and they're looking. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'd gone in there with an adult mouse or something or other. They probably would have smashed it. Wouldn't have surprised me, but because it's the first time
I'm disturbing, the clutch either.
Because it's the first time I've kind of done it. It's one step at a time. It'll be something I'll give a crack at down the track, waiting. If they've been on the eggs for a month or something, I'll give them a feed. They're ravenous now, though. Like the mums that have come off eggs, I gave them a feed just the other day, and they ate that, and they're looking for more. So they'll probably get another feed. They'll probably get 2 feeds a week. I mean, they're only getting mice at this point, just because I'm going to get some more wiener mice. But I try to feed them wieners and small rats if I can, as opposed to mice. just
Keep
better
it
feed, gets more meat in the bones quicker. Amanda, was that just in tubs? Yep, that was just in tubs. I will change it up a little bit to make it a little bit nicer for them. Just it wasn't in the right headspace and is what it is. So there you go. Shane Scarf, I've had 33 in blondes. There you go. There's a big clutch. Mind you, from memory, I think Scarfy's, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, but I'm pretty sure your blondes were like 2 kilos. They were monsters. Mate, they were
bigger than your average, Mac.
Yeah. I mean, Shane was the reason we had the nickname Scarfing Your Critters come from. That was like feeding them well and getting them up to size at 18 months. Yep.
They grow well.
Yeah, that's a massive clutch for blondes. Katie, you're on the same schedule, Des. Yep. Amanda, I got that Tool Swiss. Have a sleep vitamin. It actually helps. Yeah, I take what did I tell you? I told you about them, Brent. There is a tablet I take, which is a natural one, which helps go down. The problem is I take it and I have the same problem. I can't get to sleep. Once I get to sleep, I'm fine. But it's just it's getting to sleep. I've also got one that EH Labs make another one, Res Sleep. And I've tried that as well. I actually tried that. What's the other one? Can't even name the tablets at the moment. There's another one that helps you relax and everything. It's like, be careful, don't drive anywhere 15 minutes. You're going to feel tired and drowsy. I'm like, it's been an hour. Is it what?
I'm going for a run.
It's still going. So, yeah, I tried a few different things other than getting some Rohypnol. Just knocking myself out completely. Yeah. Shane Scar, breeding for over 30 years, doing everything at night. I can't sleep at night anymore, so don't try. Yeah, man, I feel you. It's the same. That's why my cycle's out. You start feeding at 8 o'clock at night, and by 1 o'clock, like with the hatchies anyway.
Yeah.
So
hard to shut down.
Yeah. Amanda, what's both of your favourite you've produced so far, and can we see? Well, probably saw mine. That's probably my favourite. It's probably the granite peppers, awesome. Like the double heads, but visually to get that stripy, that's probably my favourite win this year. To see that project, to back what you say in evidence, like with polygenics and line breeding and stuff. It's nice to see those projects take off. What about yourself, Brent?
I don't know. Probably that Ghost Deb is a cracker thing. So keen to see that shed out shortly. We'll have a look at that once it gets out of that ugly egg skin. That's probably the highlight for me so far. I don't know. There's a couple more clutches that might have some exciting stuff still coming up. So,
what about your caramel granite? Oh wait, can you get one? Oh, snap!
Same as your Moonglow, dickhead.
Sorry, the opportunity to take the piss just rose, and you just have to take it. I'm afraid.
Don't worry. Next year I'll have 32 of them. You watch, mate. I'll go. I do what I do every time. I get the shit and just unleash hell on it, and it'll happen next year.
Yeah. So sorry. Anyway, sorry for interrupting. Carry on. Yeah.
Yes, we will look back at a few of the best of though. It's good to see. I mean, Daz has been preaching that. I went to a chat at Hawkesbury Herbs many years ago where Daz was talking exactly about that polygenics in recessive traits, and there's a few people there going, what? Like, this is it. This is what can be done.
Yeah, that's it. It's exactly right. I think it's a side even now. Like I always praise it. I know guys like Emma and Zach Dixon up there at ZMAT Reptiles. They're on the ball with that sort of stuff, and there's a few people around, but most people see the genetic side of it and want to make the Xanthic, the Albino Granite, the Albino Pepper, whatever, but they don't look within what they're making and how they can improve it. So like I have obviously quite a lot of posset albino peppers and albino posset peppers and a lot of combination stuff. And I've kept plenty because there's just differences in all of them. And they all in themselves become a different project. Polygenic, some have a high contrast or a high pattern, some are patternless, some are high yellow in the albino, some are, high reds. So they each take different lines of where you're going, and there's no limit on what you can do. Yeah, like Brent has albino granites. He can then, now that he's got some numbers to work with, you can start making really nice white and yellow ones. But then, as you've mentioned about putting the albino Bredli blood in them, you can start making really nice, high red type albino granites. So, and then you can refine those traits as well. You should talk
so much
a long
to
time, but that's right.
As much as I feel like, I wish there were a couple of new things happening in carpet world. It would be nice for 1 or 2 new morphs to sort of get out there and get proven or pop out somewhere and get busy. There's still 10 years worth of polygenic work and directions to go mixing species, in with polygenic stuff into the morphs. There's so much to be done. People think it's dull, but look at the stuff that's getting made, and it's only going to get better over the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, yep. Getting one, and that's why you become hoarders, because you get the opportunity to improve on the quality that you've produced. If you keep flogging it off and moving it on, ideally, in the ideal situation, you produce a clutch, you want to hold 2.3 of the best in that clutch and sell the rest off. 2 males, 3 girls, hold the best, grow them up, breed them back together, repeat the process year in, year out, and you'll continually get better and better and better quality. I get asked all the time, geez, your jungles are unreal, not real high black and gold, I'm like, because I've been doing them for probably best part of 20 years, doing that same thing for such a long time. Just I hold all the jungles I hatched this year. I only had a small clutch. I think it was 8 or 9. I still got them all. Kept the whole clutch. I won't sell them till they're over 12 months of oil, because I want to make sure I'm picking them out. And mate, there's there's some crackers in there. I'm like, I'll hold some replacement stock. And that's how it goes. Do the same every year and repeat the process. And it doesn't matter what you've got. You'll just start making nicer stuff.
Yeah, it's time though. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Where we at? Boy, Marty Barger. Hey, mate. Mandeep Singh. How are you, Mandeep? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Same scarf. Try hash oil for myself. Just get out the bong. Should be right. Definitely try the Swiss one, hey. So I usually have Valid. Yeah, it's helping you sleep. Yep. Melatonin rest stop. Okay. Oh, that's what Gaz Langley is on. Yep. Stunning Shane. People don't understand how much work it is to get 400 or 500 hatchies feeding when you're one person with no staff. 100%, mate. 100%. It's spot on. I've been like you, mate. Pretty much a one-man show. Last season was the first season my wife actually got in and started help feeding hatchies, but it is a ton of work. And, if you can get 30 or 40 feeding in a night, mate, that's a massive win. And you think by the time you get through, and I had more than 500 last season, I had quite a lot. Yep. The worst part is when you get one to take the first feed, if you can pop another feed into that in 3 or 4 days and you can get that metabolism and that reaction rolling on quite fast, it's fine. You feed it once now, and then by the time you get everything else done and you come back 3 weeks later, you're starting from scratch again. Like it is just, it's a nightmare. Yep. So it is, until you get to the point that everything's had 4 or 5 feeds and you're smashing food, mate, it's an ongoing nightmare. Oh, it is. Brent's going to learn all about it. More so. You have an idea, but this season, more so.
200, 250 I've done for years, and you think you're good at it, I guess. We'll find out when you sort of double that, and then see how good you really are, I suppose. So Shane's saying, do you have staff? Man, I don't have staff. I know Daz does. It's just family for us both. I'm very fortunate. Sheree, my wife, spends 3 to 4 days, of her time cleaning all the tubs, and I feed, and I spent 6 hours last Sunday feeding. I spent 2 hours on a weeknight feeding. It's just, you got to just do the time. It's just there's very tough few months while you try to get everything going, because you can't sell anything until it's going. So there's a period where you just absolutely snowed under. You just got to deal with it and move on.
Yeah, that's it. So no, we don't have staff. It would be nice to have someone to come in. Yeah. What's your job? To get all that feeding.
And clean all those tubs, change all that, damn paper towel under butcher's paper, set all those hatchies up in racks. It's a lot of time.
And it's the craziest time of the season, because not only are you trying to get all your hatchies feeding, you're also feeding all the adults, because everything is back on the chew. Everything's looking for a feed. So you start to pump feed back into the girls. You're starting to give the boys a few meals. And of course, what do they start doing? Pooping and crapping, and so not only are you trying to feed the hatchies, you're also trying to feed and clean and keep up the maintenance on the adults, which in a large collection becomes impossible. Like you literally have to have a cycle of, you start here, you work all the way through, and if that one you clean today craps tomorrow, guess what? I'm sorry, but you
go back to the start and pick it up in 2 days' time.
Yep, that's it. You just need to start and work your way through, and then repeat the process, and it never ends. So, you try to do your best, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
My wife does that all the time. She comes here in the hatchie shed. She cleans on Monday or Tuesday in here, and on a Thursday I'll be feeding, and she'll, look, that one's pooed. I'll just clean it while I'm here. I'm like, don't bother. The next one I open's going to have poo in it too. There's going to be more poo, and you clean it now, you're going to have to clean it again on Monday anyway. So just clean them every week and be happy.
Yeah, that's it. Just poop central. Amanda, I have a female albino Darwin with a reduced pattern from last year. I'll be putting her over my survivor from this year, who is actually stunning. And he's het jungle with quite a reduced pattern. Parents albino Darwin cross het jungle. So when they are ready, fingers crossed for that. Yeah, that's it. It's all it is. You see something different, you work on it, and just give it time. No point, I see all too often people get something different out and they want to call it something or something new, and half the time it's just like, just work on it. Do your time, prove it out if it is, or just improve the line. And this hobby is not... This hobby is... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this hobby is far from a race. You get one crack once a year, and that's it.
Yep.
Take your time, do it right. Select your pairings. You've got plenty of time to think about what you're going to do. So, and I mean, Brent and I are here dribbling crap all the time. So, we just ask us. We just tell you as it is. Got nothing idea. I don't know about you, but.
And even still every year, I've asked Dad at different times I'm thinking about pairing this or pairing that. What do you reckon? And Dad will say, you're a dickhead. Do this. Why wouldn't you do this one? I'm like, okay.
Same.
Yeah. Try this, try that. And sometimes a different set of eyes is a whole new world. You just don't see something that's quite simple, and you just go, wow, right.
You get tunnel vision. Yeah, that's it.
You get stuck doing the same things you've always done and think, I won't think outside the box. And so outside the box is where it happens.
Speaking of Daz told you so, how incredible was that clutch you hatched of the, I told you what it was, the Parthenogenesis clutch.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know, I'm sure everyone's probably seen it, but Brent paired a pure silver pepper to a granite albino.
Albino granite. Yep.
Virgin. So, obviously a male, doesn't matter. But a albino granite that had never been paired with anything. So you would expect in that scenario that you would hatch 2 wild types that would be triple hets, and Grant
2 hets and 13 slugs.
Yeah, you only got the 2 eggs.
Sorry, 2 eggs, 2 good eggs. Yep.
And he hatched 2 albino granites, and
I was like, what?
Brent couldn't work it out. Rings me up and says, "What's going on? What do you reckon?" And as soon as he said it, and I went, "You got 2 visuals from a visual thing." I'm like, "It's Parthenogenesis," and sure enough, it didn't take long to try to work it out. Yep. But we probably don't it probably happens more often than not. Most of the time, we don't realise it. Because if you got, whatever it is, and you're getting wild types in the clutch, how would you know?
Yeah.
And you throw off, ratios can vary.
Yep.
You can get a clutch, you lose a few eggs and go, gee whiz, I've got 10 girls, I got 9 boys, 1 female in the clutch. Like this sort of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah. So if it's a small clutch and it's all girls, you wouldn't really think too much about it.
I mean, you had a clutch, you've lost how many slugs were in and what was your clutch?
13 slugs or something, 2 and
so 13 slugs, you hatched 2. And if it wasn't for the fact they are both albino granites, so the mum parthenogenesis is when the mother of the female clones herself and reproduces without the use of a male or a sperm donor, so to speak. It's quite well known in lizards, and it is known. There is actually a scientific paper that was done over in the US on parthenogenesis in some python species for the same thing, females that have never been paired, never been bred with anything, or something that's been bred and hasn't seen a male for 4 or 5 years and suddenly lays a clutch. And basically they're genetic copies of the mother. And to see it in a clutch like what you had, Brent, I reckon is amazing. Like it's
crazy.
Mind-blowing, something you don't see. Yeah, it is like the odds would be, I'd hate to think, for that sort of stuff to happen in a scenario where it's happened.
I'm about to go flat, Des, so we'll have to wrap up.
Yep, no worries. All right. So anyway, what was it? What's that, Shane? When you mentioned Scarf and had a show with Bob Whittaker, but gorgeous girl came up with she had a t-shirt on with B Scarf me printed on it back in the days. Oh, a fun day, Shane. Hey, mate. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Got to go. Brent's out of juice because I've talked too much. Everyone, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for saying hello. If anyone's looking for Brent, they'll find him at KHP Reptiles, Brent Smith on Messenger and khpreptiles.com.au. Hit him up, hit him a message. I'm sure some of those snakes might be up for grabs down the track. If you're interested in catching me, there goes Brent. Darren Whittaker, Morelia by Design, or Darren Whittaker on Facebook. Hit us up, send a message. Thanks everyone for dropping in. Good night, stay safe. And